of any tool to get a water wheel transplanter, because in those early days we just were crawling for miles and miles, hand transplanting on our hands and knees, like digging a hole with a trowel and putting a plant in, and then we got this transplanter and it really changed things for us.
Hey, welcome back to the Amber Waves Farmcast. I'm Katie Baldwin.
And I'm Amanda. And today we're transplanting Kaolini.
Whoa. Okay, first of all, we're gonna work and talk today. And
because it's fall and there's a lot to do.
That's right.
And
so
maybe we've been spending a little too much time at our table. You can go up, Zoe.
All right, so we're communicating with Zoe, our driver today, our chauffeur du jour. There we go.
So we're planting.
What are we doing today, Amanda? This is unusual, for us to be together. Oh my God, I missed a whole Zoe.
So, first of all, we're on our water wheel transplanter. And that's about the right pace for us. And when I think back to the early days of the farm, something that I wish another farmer would have pulled us aside earlier to say, of any tool to get a water wheel transplanter, because in those early days we just were crawling for miles and miles, hand transplanting on our hands and knees, like digging a hole with a trowel and putting a plant in, and then we got this transplanter and it really changed things for us in terms of the ease with which we now plant out 35 acres that we're growing on now. So this is this is like a low-tech but critically important piece of equipment. So in front of us are 160 gallons of water in the tanks. And as Zoe is moving us along the bed top here, there are 2 wheels with spikes that are set the appropriate distance apart for what we're planting. And as we go along, and the dibbles or spikes are punching holes in the plastic, they're being filled with water, which is creating this gorgeous mud puddle. And as we're putting in these young seedlings that are about 4 weeks old, they've been in the greenhouses for 4 weeks, and we're driving the seedlings into the holes, creating a real suction between the root ball and the side of the hole that creates great root to soil contact. And because we use this biodegradable mulch film on the bed top, this water won't evaporate. So these new seedlings have enough water for the first, solidly week of their life. We're in the fall now, so the heat isn't as intense. Underneath the mulch film, there's a line of drip tape, so we're still able to irrigate. But this was such a game changer for us.
Well, I remember in the very early days, we were shaping beds with hand tools. We were doing initial tractor work in the field with the help of Farmer Scott. But beyond initial tractor work, we were shaping beds by hand, marking plant spacing by hand, moving trays.
Do you want to go a little faster?
I don't.
Right.
Do you?
Yeah.
You're bored.
I do. Well,
you're bored right now.
I'm in a good flow.
You're gonna woman manhandle 12,000 seedlings. You're already bored. That's how leisurely this feels, that we can be scooting along here. But we used to be crawling along here, and I think there were certain days where I said to you, Amanda, I have early onset arthritis. I have Lyme's disease. I have something going on.
Our fingers were so sore.
We were so, we were new, both of us were new to manual labor in the very, very early days. But the sheer amount of plants that need to go into the ground over the course of the amount of time.
I told her to go faster, sorry.
Why?
Well, so we'll get it done.
That's the right answer.
Hey Zoe, hold up.
So this is a very typical thing with equipment, is that it always needs adjustment. So even when you start, you need to adjust, and then you adjust again and adjust again. So what Amanda's doing right now is changing the angle and height of her seat. Really, truly, it's like a plant carnival ride, although safer.
You know, people always compare this to, well, especially like people of our parents' generation, is that Lucy and Ethel.
With the bonbons
with
in the
the
mouth.
bonbons at the
candy factory.
At the factory,
yeah.
That's how it can feel out here if you get
behind.
Yeah.
Like,
So we're planting 2 row here, so we each have a responsibility for 1 row. But in 3 row, a little trickier, because someone has to reach into that middle section. So it's so fun for us to do this today, because I actually think that this is probably the first time that we've ever been on the back of a transplanter together.
Yes, I think
because in the
true.
days where we got this equipment, you and I were operators and the apprentices were riding on the back.
Right.
Now we have so many qualified tractor operators here this just feels like a really special treat to be able to do this.
This is fun. This is our farmer joyride. I remember Farmer Scott saying his favorite farming activity was mowing.
Yeah.
Because I think you're on equipment. It's you're able to be up observing.
Well, yeah. These days, so my dedicated job on the farm these days is to shape these mulch film beds that we're planting into right now. So this is a biodegradable mulch film. So when we're done with it, we just disc it into the soil and it biodegrades. It's corn-based. And my shaping the mulch film beds is unpleasant. It's difficult. The machine is really finicky. It's time intensive. It's kind of a pain. And so it's like the thing that I've been able to maintain. But I treasure those hours that I spend on the mulch layer, and just I lay about between 500 and 700 beds per season is what we're putting out here. But my time on the mulch layer I really treasure, because not only am I typically paired with an apprentice, and that's kind of my best quality time that I get to spend with them, but also it's such good observation time.
Yeah.
When I'm up in the seat looking around, it's such a great way for every week to make sure that I see kind of every square inch of the farm, which is really the only way that we can make decisions. And we have so many good decision makers on the farm team now, but I love weighing in, which is made a lot easier when I've seen everything. Okay, so the first few years that we were farming, we got a tractor at the end of season 1 going into season 2, because we borrowed equipment from Quail Hill our first season. And so we bought that International 584 at Wenger's of Myerstown from a sales guy named Craig. Do you remember what you asked Craig?
Craig, be straight with me. Would you sell this tractor to your wife?
Because it was our first ever tractor, and Craig he was newly married, was a young guy, and took your question so seriously, and he really stopped. I remember exactly where we were sitting. We were sitting at his desk, at his sales desk, and you asked him that question, and he paused and took a breath and said, "Yes." And we said, "Okay."
Sounds good, thanks. Well, the reason I think I was advised to say that, I didn't just come up with that on my own. Somebody,
did it?
Maybe it was your dad, actually, who was like, here's how to make sure no one's trying to pull a fast one.
My dad was going to meet us to look at this piece of equipment. We were nervous buying this first tractor. What's funny is that we've bought, 15 tractors since then. Maybe 12. But that tractor is still a key part of our fleet. And so for those first few years, we ran one tractor. We bought an Alice Chalmers at an auction a few years after that. Then we started buying Kubotas. We love Kubotas. They're great to train new drivers on.
Yeah, Kubota's towing us right now.
Yeah, Kubota's towing us right now. We got this last year. Whew, that transition is so tough. Okay, so neither of us are spending as much time on a tractor as we used to, because now, while we're teaching other people how to use equipment and thrilled that they're good at it. But what's your favorite kind of tractor work to do?
I love the disc harrow. I like the timing of it in the spring. I read Scott's book, This Common Ground, and it has the chapter about shining furrows. So it's like the dinner plates, i.e. discs on the back of the disc harrow, are rusty and brown over the winter, and then you sling them into the soil, and the soil
It's amazing how
shines
they
them.
polish them.
Yeah, so I've never lost that. That's just still pure magic. Really falling behind here. Got to get ahead. You really got to stay ahead of it. There, thanks for that support.
You know, sometimes you just lean across and give your other.
You just got to lend a helping kale.
You give your friend a support across the aisle. So depending on what the crop that we're planting out, so we happen to be doing 2-row 16-inch right now, but we have a variety of wheel setups. So we're doing, you know, tomatoes at single row 24 inches apart. So of course there's just one planter. We do lettuce at 3-row 12 inches. So you're going very slow. There are a couple of things we do in rows of 4, so you're going excruciatingly slow. So we get these tractors that have, it's called a creeper gear or a creeper range, so that we can go well below 1 mile an hour. So I would
We're
guess
going 0.3 miles an hour
I would guess we're closer to a half a mile an
All
hour.
right, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're covering a lot more literal ground than we would if we were
Oh my gosh, if we were crawling.
So
Well,
we'll
the other
take
thing
it.
about this is that these plants are, this really reduces transplant shock when they can go in with this much water.
There's a lot of water in these
Yeah,
holes.
we're
It's really
running-
cranking through the water. I think
running the
that's
water.
running the water heavy, but I think that's so smart.
Heavy, because then
these-
they're just happy.
they are happy,
It-
and we have not had consistent rains in September, so
No, it's
The
been
soil's
very dry
otherwise
for the second year in a row out here, having a dry fall so far.
okay.
Try to
If
save
you're
that
a
tree.
home gardener and you're considering the last hurrah of getting your fall crops in the ground, do it.
Oh, do it, but
get kale in the ground. In the Northeast, you can overwinter the kale. Get it in a pot. What
it's
else?
also not. I mean, we're in the middle of September. You could also still throw some radishes in the ground. Certainly, baby greens. Like if you wanted to
All
do
the green
baby
seeding,
kale for
direct.
eating, direct seeding them. You could plant arugula, spinach, lettuce. It's not too late to just sprinkle those things. Obviously, we're not starting a tomato this time of year, and it's also coming up soon. Is time to plant your garlic. That's a whole other.
Oh, we're
it's a
gonna
whole
have
other
fun with
episode.
that.
We love that.
Serpent garlic's gonna make its way back into our conversation, but it's time.
All right, well, we're coming up to the end of the bed here.
All right, let's get
and
these
we
last little baby boos
are doing
in the
these
ground.
last few. I'm so. Took 17 years for us to be able to ride the back of a transplanter together.
Wow. Well, I hope these plants are going to thrive this winter. And when we revisit in the spring, we'll be like, remember that one time we transplanted those together?
Hopefully it's not the only one time. Maybe we can spend more time out here doing this.
It's good thinking time, man. It's fun.
All right, see you soon.
Okay, see you out there.